Next news. Breaking news.
While the media fixates on handshakes in France, President Trump just revealed something much bigger. This is no longer a debate over whether an Iran deal is coming. The Trump administration is already talking about implementation, enforcement, shipping lanes, sanctions sequencing, and releasing the actual memorandum of understanding. That means the conversation has moved from theory to proof. When Trump says ships are already starting to move and the strait will be fully open by Friday, that's not diplomatic theater. That is a measurable America First result. So why is the corporate press pretending this is just another G7 photo op? I'll tell you why this matters. Because for months, the establishment class treated the Iran story like another endless Middle East process, long on promises and short on results. But President Trump arrived in Europe after a 3 a.m. departure from Washington, landed at the Geneva airport, then headed into the G7 with a very, very different message. Progress is no longer abstract. Trump said the strait is already partially open. Ships are starting to go out now, and by Friday it will be completely open. That's the test, not speeches, not spin, not the kind of paper agreement America got from the Obama years. Real movement, real commerce, real relief in energy pressure. Trump also pointed to oil prices dropping and the stock market surging like a rocket, connecting diplomacy directly to economic confidence. When he praised Emmanuel Macron as a special friend and said they've worked on many deals together, that told you the next phase has begun. Crisis management is giving way to coalition management, with America leading from strength. And as global trade routes reopen and smart investors look ahead, this is exactly why our partner Noble Gold Investments deserves your attention right now. And if you could go back in time and buy oil before the world relied on it, would you? Of course you would. Anyone would. So why aren't you buying silver right now? The people who recognized oil early didn't just make money, they got ahead of one of the biggest economic shifts in history. And today a similar opportunity is unfolding with silver. Silver is more than a precious metal. It's a critical resource used in solar panels, electric vehicles, defense systems, AI infrastructure, and the machines powering the future. That's why so many Americans are taking a hard look at it right now. Visit nextnewsgold.com to learn more from Noble Gold Investments, and depending on your qualifying purchase, you could receive a 1/10 ounce gold coin while supplies last. Now, let's get back to the part the legacy media really doesn't want to admit. President Trump is showing the receipts. Because the biggest line out of France was not about the G7 at all. It was Trump saying he wants the MOU released pretty soon. Because in his words, it's a very powerful document, and not like the Obama document, which he called terrible. But think about that. White Houses do not rush to publish agreements they think will hurt them. They publish when they believe the text proves the case. And that means the next battle is no longer over headlines, it's over verification, compliance, and whether the results become impossible to deny. So we'll get you some of the latest now here. Following a 3 a.m. departure from Washington, here's President Trump arriving at the G7 airport, Geneva airport. President Trump following his historic UFC event at the White House just hours before taking off. President Trump navigating those steps much better than Joe Biden ever could. There he is being greeted, the delegation there. So President Trump arriving in France with the wind at his back, not just after a historic UFC event, but after being able to broker a concrete deal with Iran, bringing this chapter of conflict to a close. So not only are the UFC fighters champions from the White House, President Trump is emerging in France as a champion for America First and a major victory over Iran. Now, the bigger question really will be is if Iran follows through. And that's, of course, where the verification becomes so critical. A lot of people don't trust Iran. Of course, there could certainly be IRGC provocateurs, cells that are not in alignment with the new third generation of Iran leadership that could still try to provoke military action in the Strait by taking shots at American ships or tankers. So these are all things that we have to be very acutely aware of. But the verification, of course, is going to be critical, and President Trump not going to leave any loopholes open. And there he is, going directly from Air Force One right to Marine One. And sometimes you have to wonder, like, just the logistics of these types of events. I mean, I've seen Marine One. It's an amazing helicopter when it comes down or takes off at the White House. But to think that they have to transport all this equipment to support President Trump's logistics. So after the pre-dawn landing, Trump is moving straight into summit mode. Here he is arriving in Evian as the G7 gathering gets underway. President Trump arriving.
Very nice. Will you meet Geneva on Friday, Mr. President?
Will you meet Zelensky? Are you happy with the Nobel Prize? Are you happy with the deal, Mr. Trump?
Shouting something to the press there, going on to his meetings. He's on the ground, cameras rolling next. He joins Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte for the summit photo op the media always obsesses over.
Andrea, First Lady's talking? Yeah, she's here as well.
You're both here.
Right. President of the FSS.
Welcome again.
This is so beautiful.
Let's go there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the formal handshake moment. Trump doesn't do empty choreography long. Up next, he turns to Macron and opens with a very Trump move, congratulating France over the big UFC win.
So I want to congratulate the president. Last night, Cyril Gane won the fight against a great fighter, supposed to be unbeatable. And that was Cyril is from France. Did you watch the fight?
Yeah. Not in direct, but I saw it this morning.
That was a great fight. It was a great evening at the White House.
I was very proud. Seriously.
Definitely a great night at the White House prior to his departure. So after the light exchange, Trump gets down to business with Macron, lays out the relationship talks, shipping through the Strait, and starts drawing a hard contrast with Obama's failed Iran deal.
Emmanuel has been a special friend of mine. We've had a fantastic relationship. We've worked on many deals together. I'm very happy to say we've signed, the deal's all signed. And the Strait is already partially opened. As you know, they're doing a little hunting for a couple of mines that they've already found. But it's essentially, ships are starting to go out now. On Friday, it'll be completely opened. We got along very well with Iran. It's a different set of leaders. As you know, the first set is gone, the second set is gone, and we found the third set to be very smart, strong, very smart, but we ended up making a deal. I felt badly that we had to go back on the attack for 2 nights, and I thought a third, but we made it before that happened. But I think a lot of great things are going to happen in the Middle East right now, and very importantly, the oil is plummeting down, and the stock market is shooting up like a rocket today, like record kind of numbers. And the oil has taken its biggest plunge, and we're into the low numbers, not quite back yet, Kevin, to the extent, but we're getting close to the numbers we were before it all started. And the main thing is that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. They fully agreed to that with strong policing powers, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, which is what it was all about, because they probably would have used it if they had it. So we had 2 big moments. When they terminated the JCPOA, that was the Obama deal, the Barack Hussein Obama deal. And when I terminated that, it was very important because it was a road to a nuclear weapon. It was a horrible deal for the United States. It was a deal where billions of dollars was given to Iran. It was a deal where $1.7 billion in cash was put on a Boeing 757, I guess, right? But it was put on a big, beautiful Boeing 757. They needed a Boeing 747, to be honest with you, because there was a lot of cash. $1.7 billion was taken out of the banks and given to Iran. And on top of that, tens of billions of dollars was paid. So they tried to bribe them to make a deal, and that didn't work. It never works. And we've done a great job. And hopefully it's going to be a good relationship, and we're going to get along. And if we don't, we go back to where we started, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. The Iran deal that we made is going to bring a lot of success to the world, because the oil was really clogged up there for a while. He would call me on occasion and say, "Come on, please, let's go with the oil prices." But the oil is coming way down, so I'm very honored by it. I want to thank you for your help. You've always been a help. And it's an honor to be with you. We had a very good conversation yesterday with President Zelensky and President Putin. And I see maybe we can do something there. I really do. I think they're both open to it. So now that this is finished, we're going to be focusing on that, see if we can get that one done. 25,000 people a month are dying, mostly soldiers, and that shouldn't happen. But had 2 very good conversations yesterday. We'll be talking about it. And we had a really exciting, I think maybe one of the most incredible evenings in the history of the White House. We had an evening last night with the fighters, and I was very happy. I called last night, very late last night, to congratulate you, because in the heavyweight division, a French fighter won. I don't know, is that maybe more important than the World Cup? To some people it might be. To some people it might be. You have a good team in the World Cup. Very good team. But you have good fighters too. And you're a great country. And it's an honor to be with you. Thank you very much.
So those are the remarks from President Trump with Macron there at the G7. Exposing the old Obama sellout, saying the new arrangement comes from strength, not bribery. Now reporter presses him on sanctions relief. He makes clear Iran gets nothing unless its behavior changes.
Mr. President, does the deal involve any sanctions relief for Iran? When would that go into effect?
No, it doesn't. Well, they have to. It's really a behavioral thing. If they do what they're supposed to do, that starts taking effect.
So the answer sets a term, no free pass, no blank check. Next, Trump says the MOU text is coming soon and promises a far stronger document than the Obama disaster.
Mr. President, when will the text of the MOU be released?
I think pretty soon. I would say, I want it to be released because it's a very powerful document. It's not like the Obama document, which was just a terrible document. This is a very powerful document, and I want it to be released. So probably pretty soon. I would say sometime after Friday, because the strait opens completely. It's open now, but it opens completely. We'll have all the mines knocked out of, for the most part. We have a lot of lanes right now already.
Mr. President.
So I think sometime in the very near future. Yeah.
So this is the moment the whole story turns. President Trump making clear that sanctions relief is not automatic. He said it's really a behavioral thing. If Iran does what it's supposed to do, then that starts taking effect. And that's the heart of the Trump doctrine right there. No blind trust, no blank checks, no fantasy diplomacy. Performance first, compliance first, America first. So the real win here is bigger than a summit stop in France. The Trump administration appears to believe the hardest part of the negotiation is over, and now the deal enters the only phase that matters, implementation. If ships keep moving, if oil keeps flowing, if prices stay down, and if the document backs up the rhetoric, then Trump will have something Washington's foreign policy class hates most: proof. And that's why this trip matters, far beyond a runway arrival, a summit photo, or even a friendly exchange with Macron. President Trump is projecting confidence because his team believes the agreement is moving into an enforcement phase that can be measured in tankers, markets, and outcomes. He even had time to congratulate France's Cyril Gahn after that White House fight night, because this administration is operating from strength across the board. Diplomacy, economics, culture, and national confidence. The old globalist model gave us weak paper deals and endless excuses. The Trump administration is demanding behavior verification and visible results. That is how serious leadership looks. If you think that Americans deserve deals that can actually be enforced instead of sold with media spin, share this report and subscribe to the channel and sound off below. Yes or no, do you believe President Trump is on the verge of proving that this Iran agreement is already delivering real-world results? Let's have a conversation. Let's make sure you stay connected with the Next News Network, despite what the algorithm decides, or when the notifications never arrive. Thousands of patriots have already texted the words raw feed to 844-840-4963. We're just waiting for you. We don't want you to miss out. We want you to be on the inside getting the news that you rely on. And that's how we're bypassing the middleman, going direct to you with one text message a night, right to your phone, with the latest news that we produce here just for you. And since there's so much winning going on, we need to celebrate. America 250 is upon us, and it's time to celebrate. I want to celebrate with you. Check out the merch shelf below this video, or pick out something you like at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.